theorizing that one could time travel within his own lifetime, Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the quantum leap accelerator and vanished. He awoke to find himself trapped in the past, facing mirror images that were not his own, and driven by an unknown force to change history for the better. And so Dr. Beckett finds himself leaping from life to life, striving to put right what once went wrong, and hoping each time that his next leap will be the leap home.
Hi guys, we're here to review a very strange book, and that is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So this book, okay, let's read a synopsis off of Goodreads real quick. At a gala party thrown by her parents, Evelyn Hardcastle will be killed. Again. She's been murdered hundreds of times, and each day Aidan Bishop is too late to save her. Doomed to repeat the same day over and over, Aidan's only escape is to solve Evelyn Hardcastle's murder and conquer the shadows of an enemy he struggles to even comprehend. But nothing and no one are quite what they seem. So that's a really short and sweet little synopsis, and really leaves a lot of this book for you to discover for yourself. So let's just get into the review. I'm reading my notes off of my phone. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I left my notebook in my husband's car, and now he's out of town at a conference. So as you might have guessed by the quantum leap stuff at the beginning, this is very reminiscent of Quantum Leap for me. This book, I'll just read what I wrote. This book is Quantum Leap plus Every Day by David Levithan. Is it Every Day or Every Day, Every Day? I can't remember. The interactions of Doctor Who and River Song, and an Agatha Christie murder mystery all rolled up into one package. There's a lot. This book was very complex. I would love to have been a fly on the wall watching the writing process. Holy shit. Clearly, as a pantser, I don't think I could do this kind of book. There's so much. As the synopsis suggests, the main character, who we eventually find out is named Aidan, is stuck at a dinner party where a woman named Evelyn dies, and he is bouncing from person to person to person at this party. So it's like an Agatha Christie mystery, and then there were none, but he's like a spirit that moves from person to person, kind of like in David Levithan's Every Day, and he just repeats the same day, trying to solve the murder of Evelyn. And he has, I think, 8 days to do it. However, he doesn't, and this was a little disappointing to me, when he leaves one person and repeats the day, the person he just left is still him. Does that make sense? It's a little weird. It's hard to understand outside of the book. So he's interacting with past and future versions of himself wearing different bodies. It's complex. I was a little disappointed with that though, because I was really hoping that once he left a body, that person would be someone that he could then interact with and find clues from, but instead it's just him, his past or future version of him. But he doesn't know who's who, obviously, because he only knows about the people he's already been, so he doesn't know who he is in the future, and his future versions of himself don't want him to know who they are for various reasons. So it's very twisty and very weird and complex, and the book does have to come up with reasons why he doesn't just figure out who is the most advanced version of himself and ask them for all of the clues that they've gathered so far. Now, this book is really not about solving the mystery. It's really not. It seems like it is because that's the premise, but honestly, the solving of the mystery, while it is sort of the foundation of the premise, is not nearly as much of what this book is about. It's much more about figuring out what's going on with the main character, Aidan. He doesn't remember who he was before he got caught in this cycle, so it's figuring out who he was. He has rivals that are also trying to solve the case, and they have different rules as well. He jumps from body to body, but one of the other ones does not, but she keeps reliving the same day just like he does, trying to solve the case. And so he has to figure out who these people are and and what they want and what their relations to him are. And that is much more what this book is about versus actually solving Evelyn's death. Our main character also has interaction with a person called the Plague Doctor, who seems to be sort of running this whole situation. And is that person good? Are they evil? What's going on? And not a book that you can zone out with. Like, I was listening to it again on audio, and like I had to pretty much have my attention on it at all times, or I could potentially lose the thread, because there is so much going on, so much for you, the reader, to keep track of, so much for the character of Aiden to keep track of. So if you're looking for something relaxing to listen to or read, where you can just kind of turn your brain off and enjoy it, this is not that book. A big disappointing factor for me is that while we meet lots of different characters, they all feel very flat and much more like plot points. It's almost like he's playing a video game and these people are just bare bones archetypes so that he can interact with them and get maybe some clues, but none of them feel like real whole people, and I found that to be quite disappointing. His rivals maybe are a little bit more fleshed out, but nobody feels very real to me, and characters are super important to me, so that was a very disappointing part of this. However, I did really like Aiden, the main character. I sympathized with him. I wanted him to figure out what was going on. The main character, for once, was actually my favorite character. I even felt a little bit like, because we're in Aiden's head and he's so confused and he gets the shit kicked out of him a lot in various bodies and everything, I really became very protective feeling of Aiden, and I wanted to be like, stop hurting my child. I also will say that eventually this does feel like it goes on a bit too long. I think maybe the 8 hosts, the 8 days that he's allowed to cycle through this is too many, because we pretty much follow him every minute of that time. So there's very few time skips, and it does drag. Especially, as it gets toward the middle and you're just like, okay, can we maybe have a few answers to tease us along? But it's just like question, 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 and it just keeps going, and eventually it's too much. I feel like maybe he should have had fewer bodies to go through. Now, the author does spend at least his first 2 bodies with Aiden not understanding even what's happening to him because he has no memory. So the author is doing a good job of setting up this character, but I think it could have maybe even been done in the first host and just kind of moved it along with the second host instead of having 2 hosts where he's confused, and then finally getting to the third one where he starts to try to solve things very tentatively. Okay, I lied. I did have one other character who I loved, and that is the character of Lioncourt, who's like this overweight rich guy that Aiden inhabits for a while. He has a valet who is a very intriguing character, and I love the valet, and there's stuff that connects him to the main story. He's not in it a lot, but he is a semi-important character, and I think because we get so little about him, but what we do get about him is so interesting, and you just get these little snippets from him, maybe a little expression, maybe a little eye contact. You see, his sleeve rides up and there's these mysterious tattoos, and you're just like, who is this guy? Can he also be a main character? He's not, but I did really like his character. Not only is he interesting, but he gets shit done. Whereas Aiden can feel like he's dragging his feet sometimes, this guy is like just moving. He's getting shit done. Unfortunately, with so much build-up and so much mystery, the ending really let this book down. I was quite disappointed. Again, because it's just question, 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 so much build-up, so much you want to know. When you get to the ending, I almost think that whatever it is, it's going to let you down, because you've built up so many wild theories in your head, you've got so many thoughts going on about who is Aiden, why is he here, what is going on, that when you do get to the ending, you kind of are left feeling like, that's it? That's what was going on this whole time? There was a lot of focus on one of his rivals in particular, a woman named Anna, and like, how does she fit into this, and is she good, is she bad, we don't know. And I hated Anna. I wish that there was not so much focus on her. I don't know what else to say without spoiling it, but there was too much focus on Anna. She annoyed the crap out of me, and I wish that she wasn't even in this book at all and that things went a different direction. Now I am going to talk about spoilers, so I will place a River song up there, and when she is gone away, that means the spoilers are over. Alright, so let's get to the spoilers. Let's talk about that ending and why it was so disappointing. So in the ending, it turns out that they are all trapped in this prison, essentially. How the prison is achieved, like maybe we're in the future and it's all in a computer, maybe it's magic. That part apparently not important. The time setting of this book is really unclear. Like, it seems like the actual murder mystery part takes place in like the time frame of an Agatha Christie novel, whenever that would be. But you don't know how long the characters have necessarily been looping and how much time has passed in the outside world. Maybe they tell you, but I forget what it is. So you don't really understand why this prison or how this prison, like, what is it, how does it work? Not important. The fact that the characters are in it is the only important thing. And it was really quite disappointing because I was really hoping that there would be more, that Evelyn Hardcastle would matter more, that the other characters, the other guests would matter more. But it turns out that they are all not even real people. That the only real people here are Aiden and Anna, and maybe their rival, another one of their rivals. I think he might be a real person too, and just also a very bad man. But it turns out that the main character had gone into this prison to try to find Anna, who perpetrated a crime against the main character, and as time went on, it sort of, the ending of the book tries to be like, oh yes, the theme of this book all along has been that people can change, nature over nurture. But that really hasn't been the theme of this book all along. And I feel like it really drops the ball trying to have Anna be such an important character, having all of the other characters and all of that stuff be just figments. It felt really anticlimactic and quite disappointing, and I was so hoping for more. My brain was coming up with all these wild theories about how Aiden related to Evelyn, how Aiden fit into this world of these wealthy socialites, how Anna fit into this world, if she did it all, like what was going on, and the ending was quite disappointing that it just turned out they were in this prison and it was all about Anna, my least favorite character, all along. Everything was made up and the ending doesn't matter. Maybe I'm the only one who feels that way, but yeah, that's how I felt about it. Okay, spoilers over for the ending. I hope you didn't listen to them if you haven't read this book. If so, that's on you. That is on you. But those were my thoughts on the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Ultimately, I did enjoy it for the premise, for the characters of Aiden, and for Lioncourt's valet, who was also a great character, but I was very disappointed in the ending. Let me know if you've read it, what you thought. If you are into very twisty, plot-driven stories, this might be for you. Definitely give it a chance. If you like books where you're not necessarily supposed to solve the mystery, because really you're not. The least important plot element in this book is the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. But if that sounds intriguing to you, definitely give this book a shot. This apparently was a debut, so this author really put in the work, and I am quite interested to see what they do after this. If you liked this review, there are a bunch more on my channel. I've been doing this for a while, so there's a lot of content for you to binge your way through if you so desire. It's all in playlists, super easy. If you wish what you saw here was higher quality, you can support me on Patreon, where all of your donations go towards getting me better equipment and grant you access to exclusive content not seen on this channel or anywhere else. So if you want some stuff like a private bookshelf tour of all of my shelves, if you want some chatty videos where I just talk with you about art and writing and that kind of thing, and just stream of consciousness, if you want to watch me do some special mini read-alongs, then go check those out on my Patreon for any donation level. But I do post new videos on this channel every damn week, Mondays and Fridays, so please come back and check those out. And I will see you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Well, hey there, it's time for this month's patrons. That's right, it's shout-out time for Lennox, Amanda, Celia, Jenny, Kim, Lisa, Lemore, Sabby Panda, Sam, and Sarah. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I really, really appreciate you all.